Thank you so much for coming. I think the fact that there are so many people here tonight, the fact that there is so much interest in this prize, is evidence of a consensus that is building across the country, across different parties. There are politicians of all different parties here this evening. There are people of all different professions here this evening. And opinion is slowly changing on what building can achieve and on what can be achieved with new garden cities. And I think that that change in opinion has in some way, and I hope some considerable way, been influenced by the endeavours of all the entrants to this prize. We know that everyone in Britain knows that housing is a problem, particularly in the southeast of England. We know that young people are being priced out of homes. We know that people who don't live in London are priced out of London. People who don't live in the southeast are being priced out of the southeast. That in effect, the process of house price inflation is transferring wealth, not creating wealth, but transferring wealth from rich to poor, from young to old, from poor to rich. But the exciting thing about this competition is that it's not just about solving a problem. What has been so exciting about the entries is that they have been about the opportunity, the excitement of an opportunity, and the optimism that actually something can be done not just to alleviate a problem, but to make our country a much better place.
The one thing that struck me about the prize in terms of the attitude of entrants was that they weren't ashamed of utopianism. And I brought to mind the other day something that Oscar Wilde wrote, which is that if the map of the world had no utopia on it, it would not even be worth glancing at. And there is nothing wrong with asking for utopia. Let's think about Letchworth. That man, Ebenezer Howard, put his utopia on the map. We might say, well, actually, Letchworth is a bit suburban, a bit smug, and we don't like it. But the economists will tell you it isn't half popular. I mean, you can see that by looking at the price data. So you know, we should be putting these utopias on the map. We should be saying, why not? Why can't we do this? Ebenezer Howard was one man. He managed to build 2 whole towns on his own. And some people might say, well, yes, but we've got the planning system now, and we've got bureaucracy now, we've got the state now. But I just remind you that Howard did say himself, if you wait until the authorities get around to doing anything, you'll be as old as Methuselah before you start. The only way to get anything done in this world is to do it for yourself. And so I just want to leave you with a thought that the inspiring kind of personal energy that the entrants have put into the prize is more akin to the sort of manic utopianism of Ebenezer Howard than it is to anything else. And we owe them a debt of gratitude, I think, for bothering to say, I've got my ideas and I'm going to put them down on paper. Just one last quote from an entrant who finished his entry with, I am inspired, when do we start?
We all came to a single conclusion about who should be the winner. And we chose this particular entry because of the strength of the proposal, the idea that what was suggested could occur in quite a large number of places throughout the UK. It grasped the essential relationship between the size and nature of a city and the importance of green belt or open countryside around it, and head-on tackled that arrangement. And if it is true that this philosophy could be extended maybe 20 times or even more times across the country, it would certainly achieve a great growth in housing numbers and would be of enormous benefit to the towns that had the courage and the leadership to say, we want that to happen here. The winner is David Rudlin with us.
Well done, David. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
We were talking earlier that the impact of the Wolfson Prize on the Garden City movements has been very positive. A lot of the press stories have been very positive about garden cities and their potential. It's really raised the level of debate. I mean, from our perspective, we're talking to a number of cities at the moment, and actually the ideas that we and the other finalists have put forward are all well and good, but they need a change in the way that we deal with the value of land. And so our hope is that a Garden City Act can be passed by whoever wins the next election, and that can create a context by in which this can happen. And I think if that happens, then there is a huge pent-up demand for garden cities to be built in the UK, whether they be in small places in quite large cities who can expand in this way. So we think the hopeful impact of the Wolfson Prize is in influencing the agenda of the next government.
There have been a lot of words this evening, but now is the time to end the words and for the action to start. So it's very much good night from us, and over to you guys to make it happen. Thank you very much.